Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. This is your match reaction video. Manchester United 0, Liverpool 0, and a point gained at Anfield. Not the worst, I suppose, result in the world, but plenty to talk about. Get your thoughts and comments into the comment section. We'll make it as interactive as we possibly can and read out all of your points, good or bad. But we've got the three usual suspects on with us: Chris, Oisín, and Ben. How we doing, men? All good, yeah?
Yeah, all good.
Go on, Chris, I'll give you the start. What did you make of it? Happy enough with the performance or the result in general? What are you thinking?
Happy with the result. Good team performance. I mean, I'd have to say good team defense. It's just sad that we have to resort to that kind of style of play to grind out a result. I can't hate it because of no Bruno, no Butcher, no Casemiro. It's just we're missing players that we need, that we would rely on to be more creative and going forward, and we just didn't have them. But as far as team defense, team play, it's probably one of the best performances, I got to say, that I've seen effort-wise out of everybody, like playing for each other.
Yeah. Oisín, what you make of it? Positive, happy, disappointed?
I can only echo what Chris said there, really. They were set up not to lose.
Yeah.
They were set up defensively. Usual kind of suspects in terms of poor play and giving them, but overall, for 11 that were out on the pitch and the 11 he could pick, when you take the 11 that were injured and that could possibly have played, I'll take a point against that Liverpool team any day of the week. And that's horribly downheartening to say as a United fan, that I would happily take a point against Liverpool. But, with everything going on at the moment, that can be seen as a positive. It's another clean sheet for Onana. So I know he was peppered. The goal was peppered, but he kept the clean sheet. So all things are looking good. All things looking good.
Happy days, yeah. Ben, what did you make of it? Obviously, Oisín is mentioning there that, and I think it's probably the first time we've seen Ten Hag maybe make some, tactical changes. He likes to play the same way an awful lot and not change his style of play, but we've seen a lot more, a more defensive setup really than that today, didn't we?
Yeah. I think we did well, to be fair. Thank God we've got Kobe Mainoo in midfield. Just ran it, didn't he? So, but you got to take last year's result as well, the 7-0. He just didn't want that to happen again, did he? So we've done what we needed. We've got a point. How many teams are going to get a point there this season?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk to you about, obviously, we'll start with the positives, and Chris, I'll go to you on this one. The defensive side of the game. Obviously we seen, Varane and Johnny Evans paired again with each other. And there's a few people that were worried in the chat, but I think they showed their experience between the two of them there. I think it actually worked quite well.
No, I think they did. And I think that, a lot of people are missing the fact that, Amrabat sits deep in front of them. So that helps. I think that's another part of it. And I'll be honest with you, it's probably one of the best defensive games I've seen Diego Dalot play. His tracking back, even on right before he got sent off for that BS, the tracking back on and not fouling or not giving anything up to Salah on that. He played really good. He played really well. He was proactive, getting the ball out, heading the ball, getting to the ball. They all were, to be honest. There's not a bad thing I can say about it, is that they were all on the front foot of clearing the ball and trying to get there instead of, nobody was sitting back at that point and waiting. So, I like it, and maybe that's attributed to the experience of Varane and Evans and them talking and keeping everybody, in the communication that they have. Because I think that's, if you really watch when we struggle, I think it could be a lack of the communication from, somebody in the central part of the park to tell everybody what's going on and what to do. Jack, you played around there. When your center backs are talking to you, you love it. When they're quiet, there's a problem.
Absolutely. But then on the flip side, then Oisín, absolutely nothing going forward. Is it lack of quality? Is it lack of belief? Is it, lack of whatever?
I was thinking halfway through that the game plan was set up for two up front. That you have Hoyland to hold the ball up, because all we were doing was bringing Liverpool on and hoofing the ball away, just getting, because they jump 9 times out of 10 they can't score from their own half, so just getting it away as far away from the goal as possible. So I think the game was set up for a Rashford Hoyland up front, Rashford running in behind and Hoyland just knocking the ball on or holding the ball to bring players onto him, because Rashford can't play with his back to goal. But we didn't have that link. I mean, if we had Bruno today, just to put his foot in the ball, slow it down. We had Matt Whistle, who, as we all know, is just, he's playing in the 10. He's proven out he can't play in the 10, he can't play in the 8, and he can't play in the 6. He's only got the other 8 numbers to prove that he can't play anywhere. I
would just drop the second part of that sentence and just go, he can't play.
But yeah, I just feel that, again, and I've said this a few times in the past, we're too rigid up front. We've got no interchange. We've got no way of making teams guess what we're going to do. They know Garnacho is going to stay on the left and cut in. Anthony's going to stay on the right and cut in. We have no way of confusing defenses. We have no ways of having defenders guess what are these guys going to do and how are they going to beat us. Are they going to go past us down the line and cross it in? Are they going to try and cut in? We just don't have anything like that.
Yeah.
And when you starve that of supply by having someone who's just not even related to a footballer playing number 10, they get no supply to even try that, So there was nothing there today, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that goes to show on the stats. What did we have in the end? Was it 2 shots on target?
I think so. And I missed one of them. I was gone for the Highland one, so I still don't know was it a good chance or not.
No, it was a very good chance. We finally had a good run of play and good 1-2, and actually McWhistle made a nice pass back to Hoyland, and he drilled it, and Allison just came out and was big. And I mean, Allison is top class keeper, so he just came out and was big. And to add to Oishin's point is that we don't even have midfield runners. Like, nobody runs through the midfield. Like, it's like you said, cut in, and there's no running through the midfield off of players that are holding up the ball. That everybody just stands around and goes, "Oh, what are you gonna do?" Kind of like that. And I mean, it's just, it's a problem, I mean, it really is. And I think that we missed Bruno today, but at the same time, I think that even with Bruno there, we do the same thing. The
thing with Bruno there, Chris, is we would have still played McTominay, who would have offered nothing defending.
Yeah. And that's the problem, though. I think I'd like to see what happens when you play Manu and Amrabat with Bruno and McTominay doesn't play.
Yeah.
Because the one thing Bruno will do is he'll show for the problem is and I said this a couple of times, is I know that Hoyland makes good runs, but not even just Hoyland, but nobody shows for the ball when we in the attacking third. No one's making a run for the sake of making a run to open up a space. Everybody's just waiting for someone to do something, and that's the wrong way to look at it.
Yeah, let me get through some of the comments here and we'll see what people are saying. Reese says, a pint is a pint. I'm happy. Darrell is happy with a pint as well. Niall is saying, we'd have took a pint all week, so a draw at Anfield is a good result considering form we're in and the players that are out. Yeah, absolutely. Box thinks it's a good pint as well. Varane and Evans are rocks. We'll do man of the matches in a few minutes, but I think it's quite clear what I think. But Daniel says it was a good point as well. John is saying a great point. We had to stop the rot versus Liverpool. Well, we did beat them, 13 or 14 months ago as well. So I know the Anfield result last year was poor. But Dara says, can't wait until January 14 when the majority of the team are back. We'll stick on that point for a second. Ben, I'll go to you on it. Do you think Man United, obviously with the players that we have out missing, and I named basically a full starting 11 there at one stage with players we're missing. I mean, obviously top 4 has to be the priority, but do you think we're good enough to actually get it?
Yeah, we are. I'd say we are good enough. If we can get our basics back, get basic players in the middle and everything. And it's a bit like what you've just been talking about today. I give them a pass today. We're going forward. The game today weren't to commit players going forward, really, was it? Because then that's when you leave the gaps and Liverpool get in and score. Yeah. But yeah, you like to Casemiro, get him back in, get Butcher back in. It just gives you.
Do you think that was a ploy out of Ten Hag today to kind of say to him, listen, fucking don't get caught in the counter attack. Just, take your time, relax, you know.
Yeah, that was it. Just don't concede. If you get a chance, take it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I think a big part of it was we took the Jose Mourinho aspect. We parked the bus, and if we can get out on the counter, we get out on the counter. If not, just park the bus. Like don't be running around. Don't chase. Don't do it. Just where you're supposed to be. Just be there. And unfortunately, I mean, sometimes you have to. And I was listening to something earlier. They were saying that the one thing about Ten Hag is that he never changes his style, or he never changes anything. Well, he just did today.
Yeah.
And and got a result against probably one of the hottest teams in the Premier League at this moment. So everybody can hush up about that a little bit.
Yeah. I just don't have to listen to him now for the rest of the week, which is just great. Like, you know what I mean? Fucking dickheads. Anyway, let me get through some more of the comments here. Let's see. Luke says, all this without our captain and our best player, not a bad result. Box says, Onana dropping high balls. I was shit myself. Talk to me about Onana, Oisín, because, I like the confidence he has and all that kind of stuff, and the kind of aura he puts out there, but he's not filling me full of confidence yet. A couple of times there he came out in the first half, he came out for a cross and he was kind of in no man's land. Second half, he came out to punch a ball and completely missed it. Is he just nuts, or what is it?
I mean, look, we've all played football to some sort of level, and you have to be missing something to go up in the sticks anyway.
Yeah.
Goalkeepers are a strange breed of human being, I just think that he gets bored and wants to entertain himself.
That's not
a bit like the character in The Longest Yard. I'm sat here for whatever. I'm just going to do something and just liven the place up a small bit. Just to keep myself awake. I just think that's his style, and I just think we said in pre-season that we were going to start playing about 15 yards further forward because we had him as a sweeper keeper. Hasn't happened with injuries and the makeshift back four we've had to do. So I'm holding out judgment until the end of the season. Any keeper can make an individual error. He's cost us games.
Yeah.
But other players have cost us games too. I'm going back even to, there was a time when Schmeichel conceded 13 goals in 3 games. And the joke was he tried to kill himself by throwing himself under the bus. The bus went through his legs. We've had Taibbi, The keepers will always make a mistake, but anytime they make a mistake, it results in the goal. So that's why it always sticks there. But I'm not judging him yet. I think he's a great character for the United, for the United fans to get behind, because he keeps us entertained. He might drive us mad sometimes, but he reminds me of Barthez, and I used to love Barthez, and as long as he keeps clean sheets like today, he can drop a few high balls as long as they don't cost us goals, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I just think
absolutely.
I think if, Jackie, you're talking about how his distribution, but I mean, where else is he supposed to go with those longer balls? Like, we don't show for him at all. Like, nobody's showing, and I mean, granted, would you like them to place it on their foot? Yeah, I get that to a point, but at the same time, I think he's kind of he looks around, it's like, okay, no one's gonna come get it, then I'm just gonna away with it.
Yeah, my argument against something like that would be that, if you don't have an option and lads are not shown, turn the fullback with your kicks. Just turn their fullbacks, rather than just pitching a little one. And I know he did overhit a couple of balls that he was playing out to Luke Shaw and stuff. And look, I'm not getting hypercritical with him, but I understand that if lads are not showing and he doesn't have any options, that's the one thing. Even when I was playing, I used to always do, if there's nothing on, turn the defense, and then at least that'll give you time then to get your defense out, get your shape set up or whatever it may be. But
True.
I like Onana. I think look, there's a settling in process as a Man United keeper. There just is. No keeper has ever come in and hit the ground running. Maybe Van der Sar probably being the only one. But yeah, I think he's a good keeper. I think he'll do well for us. Let's see what other people are saying here. Dylan says that result is what we needed, considering all the talk about getting ass whooped before the game. Kick on and gather a few points in the next few games. Well, what it might do more than anything else is it might take a little bit of pressure off of Erik ten Hag now. You know what I mean? Because we were obviously saying before the game that if we do get another spanking, that it's going to be pressure on him. And I am happy that he, I am happy that he wasn't stubborn enough to go out and just play the same way, and get fucking trouncing again.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to talk real quick about Varane as well, because obviously he's come in. He was my man of the match today. I thought he was by far our best player. Oisin, does he stay in now? Do you have to keep him there? Because we've seen before Ten Hag will play a player. If he comes in and plays well, he tends to keep his place. So,
well, we have to keep him at the moment. I mean, we were saying that he might go in January, but I mean, I know Martinez is back training on grass. But we never lost Maguire, so we don't have a huge amount of depth at centre half. I mean, we've got Johnny Evans, who's as old as I am, and we've got Varane, so I think he stays till the end of the season anyway. I don't think him going in January is an option anymore. I have to say I didn't watch the game. I had commentary and I had yourself, and anytime there was a free kick or a corner, the first name that I heard more often than not was Varane with a clearing header.
Yeah, he
commanded that box. He marshaled the back four, and he kept the midfield honest as well. Yeah. And that I know we said there wasn't a lot of pace. There's a lot of football in those legs and a lot of miles in those legs between himself and Evans.
Yeah,
but all that experience came out today.
Yeah,
and we saw what Varane really is.
100%.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but I listened to something. And, he can be gone. He can walk as a free agent in the summer if we don't extend the option. His contract is up in the summer of 24, but we have a club option on him, so we have to activate the option.
And that has to be done by the end of January, I think, does it?
Yes, it does. So it's either we do the option or he walks as a free agent. So all this talk about selling him, it's like, well, you either got to sell him in January or do the option. So, because that was I was listening to it, and that was the big thing, is that his contract is done at the.
But can you not also sign a pre-contract agreement with a European team as well, as long as they're not in English?
From January.
After January, he can, because then we have no option on him at that point. Because we have first option until the end of January, and then after January, he can sign a pre-contract agreement with whoever at that point, and then we get nothing for him. So he walks for nothing, basically, at that point.
Okay, forget what I said. Sell him in January. Get some money from him.
But the thing about it is that, the way, we're being touted about this financial fair play is that we probably will have to sell before we can buy, which is a worrying thing. But, I think the frustrating thing about it for me is that there's upgrades needed in basically all of the key areas. Centre back, centre midfield, centre forward. And like we've said before, I think if you can get them that key, spine, then the rest will just fill itself in over time. You know what I mean? And you'll see a steady improvement. But yeah, I mean, Johnny Evans rolling back the years as well. I think. I don't know what you think. I'll ask you on this one, Ben, but I think Luke Shaw gives us so much more playing at left back than he does from centre. Now, he's very good at centre back as well, not taking that away from him. But like some of the times, his link-up play, I think, is really good, and he goes off on these runs, takes a lot of pressure off of the defence. Surely, that left back spot is where he's going to be for the remainder of the season, you would think.
Yeah, you'd think so, yeah. Well, like you say, the centre-back thing, it's an option, isn't it? If there's injuries that we've got, he can play there. But yeah, he's got to be left-back.
Yeah,
he's got to start there. Like you say, it makes it look easy, don't it, sometimes, when he's playing there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
And I reckon he was why Rashford did so well, really, weren't he?
Yeah, well, we were saying that, weren't we? Yeah, that kind of link-up play. It reminds me of Football Manager. When you play two players together, that line comes in between the two of them where they're used to playing with each other. I think that's the case with the likes of Shaw and Rashford. But Oisin, you mentioned it in the chat. Do you keep the option for Reguilon? Do you keep him on or what? Like, especially with Malacia having a serious injury as well.
Well, my concern is there's a break clause. The Spurs can recall him. So I don't know. Do we sign him in January to negate that clause? Because we're not going to go diving into the market in January.
Yeah,
and we've got other places that are a priority than left full.
Yeah, was his loan not until January?
No, it's a season long with a break clause.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they can only bring him back in January then.
In January, yes. That's it.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
So if they have we keep him beyond January, then we have him to the end of the year. But I mean, the times he's played for us, he's played well, and Ange doesn't seem to have any lack of depth of full. But I don't know. Malacia has a serious injury. There's no return date for him.
Well, he had a major setback. I think he had a second surgery or something because he had a major setback coming back. So I mean, I think he's done for the year. To be honest with you,
for the year, yeah.
So
but even that has he done enough to get in there behind Luke Shaw? You know what I mean? What he did last year was promising, but not great.
Yeah,
and we in Reguilon we've got a ready-made replacement, so I'd be keeping him.
Yeah, absolutely. Daryl here says 100% we need to cash in on some of these players. Can't be losing money all the time. Look at Donny taking 10 million for him. We always pay big and for players and take a massive hit. But look, to be honest with you, that's always been the case with United. You know what I mean? You buy players for big money. You don't. You know, if you're getting the best period of a player's career, which we haven't been, let's be fair with that. But the majority of the time, you do want to be signing players for more money you don't want to, but that's generally what's going to happen. And I don't think that's just United either. You know, like Liverpool sell players, you know, for smaller money than they buy him, you know, on certain occasions or certain circumstances. But I do agree, we do need a big clear out there, But it's great what not even a win, but just a slightly more positive result than a loss will fucking do for you. You know, the world is colorful again. You know what I mean?
I mean, now we just have to weather the storm of listening to people talk about how inept we looked going forward, and all we did was park the bus. But at the same time, I mean, you have to do what you have to do. I mean, it's, you know, if we would have played them wide open, I think we would have been in some major problems.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
But I mean, I just saw on my phone it flashed that the Premier League thing, they gave the man of the match to Trent. I was like, really? I'm like,
he was a bit all over the place, I suppose. He was everywhere at times, but I just don't get it with him. Like he's very good going forward. He's not able to defend. You know what I mean? He's just not able to defend.
They say, did you see the stat though? In 12 appearances this year, he only has 2 goals and 2 assists. So that's not like, you're not like setting the world on fire. Like, if you told me he had 2 goals,
still better than Nunez.
If
Martin's still there, how you doing, Martin?
How you doing, Martin? Martin.
That old passcode there. Give us the password to the Wi-Fi.
Can you imagine if you were Nunez and you were playing on one of your teams that you played for, and you did that where all you had to do is run after the ball and tap it in, and the coach would have ate my lunch for that one? Like, what are you doing? Calling for a penalty? Like, oh no, like, but it's terrible.
Yeah,
I'm glad that we didn't. I mean, I'm kind of glad that we didn't get him, because I think he's shit. I mean, he can't put anything on target. He's terrible.
He is terrible. I've been saying it. And again, it's this whole kind of, you know, United are in the spotlight all the time. Like we're getting nothing but slack and or slagging about Anthony costing 100 million. Darwin Nunez costed as well, and he's just as bad. You know what I mean?
Look at Mudryk. Mudryk's just as bad. I watched the Chelsea game yesterday, and Ben, I don't know if you watched it, because if you were watching with the missus, Mudryk, he came across from the left side and went to take a shot, and this thing almost went in for a throw-in. It was that wide. of the far post.
I told you.
I
told you about
oh
him when I
God.
first seen him. I said, you cannot be a good footballer with a haircut like that. You just can't. You know what I mean?
I don't know about the butterflies on the neck either. You know.
Yeah.
But no.
Anyway, lads, look, I think we'll leave it there. Not the worst not the worst result in the world. I suppose we've got something that we can hopefully build on. Going into a couple of difficult games because West Ham are flying it now as well. So we've got West Ham next weekend, and then obviously Aston Villa straight away after that. But
Villa had a disaster today almost.
They won in the end 2-1, was it?
2-1, but Emery, I don't know if Emery may not be. Une may have to sit the next game because he got a yellow card. They were talking about that, and also Boubacar Kamara got a straight red. So
yeah, well he's
gone for 4 games.
Yeah, the one positive we would have about that with Aston Villa is that their away form is nowhere near as good as their home form. You know what I mean? So, and we obviously played them in Old Trafford, but Delow is going to be missing now as well, which is not ideal. But you'd expect one.
You just have to watch Ali Watkins. That's it. We just have to watch Ali.
Yeah, and he plays off the left side, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll get Wan-Bissaka in spider legs and just get him fucking wrapped around him. No problem. Happy days. Anyway, lads, look, I appreciate you coming on as always. And obviously I'll talk to you during the week as well. And thanks to everybody else for watching. Smash a like in the video, hit subscribe. If you want to come on with the lads, become an official channel member, link is in the description, all that good stuff. I'll chat to you during the week, boys.
Are you doing anything this week, Jack, or no?
Yeah, I will be. I'll
Okay.
be doing a few bits now in the nighttime, probably a few news shows and stuff like that, because we're coming close to the January transfer window, so we'll start rolling them back in. Kind of getting into a little bit of a routine with the young lad as well. So, so once that happens, the regularity will just come straight back as normal.
You got
know
it.
what I mean?
All right, gentlemen, we'll see you.
But anyway, lads, I appreciate you coming on, and I'll chat to you during the week. All right.
Yeah, catch you later.
Take it easy, boys.